After a very dramatic first season, Netflix's Colombian show Fake Profile returns with a season 2. This time, a serial killer is introduced into the sensual thriller drama. Such a drastic turn was not completely unexpected, given how the series had already established in season 1 that anything was quite possible in this universe. The elites of Riviera Esmeralda were petrified when a killer started targeting mostly men from the gated community. The motive was not clear in the beginning, and it was initially assumed that Camila had some role to play in the events that had transpired. In the very first episode, Camila got married to David. She was in love with him and decided it was time they started building their lives together. But there was a problem. Camila continued to fantasize about Miguel. Most of her dreams involving him were sexual, and even though she knew it was all so wrong, she did not know how to control her subconscious thoughts. Will Camila and Miguel end up together? Also, who was behind the murders? Fake Profile Season 2 answers these questions over the course of 10 episodes. So with a spoiler warning, let's jump straight into the recap. Did Camila and Miguel end up together? On the night of her wedding, Miguel showed up and begged Camila to run away with him. She rejected his proposal and begged him to leave. While David handled the situation that night, Miguel continued to pester Camila. He followed her wherever she went, and one day he showed up in her bathroom and forcefully tried to kiss her. Even though Camila pushed him away, she believed that his constant presence was affecting her relationship with David. She traveled to Mexico with David to meet German, a businessman who showed interest in investing in Camila's business plan of opening a franchise of Golden Lips in Mexico. The trip helped the married couple mingle again, and Camila felt she was again in control of her thoughts. But Miguel showed up unexpectedly once again when Camila booked a massage appointment. She had no idea he was in the room, but she felt strange when he touched her, and even though he left the room immediately, Camila followed him and realized that it had been Miguel all along. She begged him to leave her alone, but he was convinced they were meant to be together. Camila's friend Erica witnessed the argument, and she later confronted Camila and asked her not to entertain Miguel. That evening, when Camila had a meeting with German, Miguel once again tried to intervene, but Erica stopped him. She refused to let him ruin Camila's night and stood up for her best friend. But Erica had no idea she would have to pay a price for trying to be there for Camila. That night, Erica was pushed from the balcony of her hotel room and she died on the spot. Camila wondered if Miguel was behind the murders. Given that he was the last person Erica interacted with, Miguel looked pretty guilty. The next morning, Camila received a call from German asking her to meet him again to discuss the business proposal. Camila agreed to see him at his house, but soon after arriving, she figured out that Miguel had arranged the meeting. He wanted to talk to Camila alone, and he used German to lure her to his house. Camila pleaded with him to leave her alone, but as soon as Miguel kissed her, she felt sexually aroused. She explained how they were not meant to be together, even though her body craved his touch. Miguel stated that he had been to therapy to navigate his sexual addiction, and he had been with no one else in all the time since he and Camila went their separate ways. He believed she was the one for him, and he wanted to be with her forever and raise children together. But Camila was not quite convinced, and once again Miguel used his irresistible charm and kissed her, and Camila fell for him. German's assistant contacted David and asked him to find his wife at German's house. David was flabbergasted to see Camila having sex with Miguel. When he tried to attack Miguel, Camila stopped him and explained how she could not stop herself, and that she had tried to resist. She requested he forgive her, but it was all too much and too sudden for David to process. Camila took her time to completely trust Miguel, especially because of the history they shared. When Camila moved into Riviera Esmeralda, Miguel followed her there and promised to help her in every way possible. He did not falter this time, and Camila ultimately decided to be with him since she clearly found it almost impossible to romantically and sexually commit to anyone else. Who was the serial killer? After Detective Indira was convinced that Camila was not the killer, she decided to use her help to uncover the mystery. The killer had used Camila's stage name Red Velvet for their Tinder profile and lured their targets. After Erica's death, the case had become personal for Camila, and she was ready to go to any lengths to ensure that justice was served. She started chatting with Red Velvet, and when the killer offered to meet Camila in person, Indira used hidden microphones and a GPS tracker to nab their target. The killer had invited Camila to a remote island named Manakwa. After facing difficulty tracking Camila, Indra's team managed to locate her, and they prepared to rescue her. As soon as Camila entered the villa, where Red Velvet was apparently waiting for her, the killer started a fire. Camila ended up inhaling smoke and she fell unconscious. The identity of the killer was finally revealed to the audience, and we discovered that Angela was behind the murders. Angela was about to shoot Camila, but help arrived sooner than she had anticipated, and she had no choice but to run away. A policeman along with Miguel came to Camila's rescue. For a short while, Camila had trouble with her vision because of the smoke, and unfortunately, even though she was so close to nabbing the killer, she missed her chance. Meanwhile, the detective started suspecting Miguel. His DNA was found at the crime scene, and the fact that he showed up on time made her wonder if he was the killer. Miguel explained that he had received a voice memo from Camila inviting him to her island, but Camila denied ever sending him such a message. Upon inspection, Indra realized that the voice memo was AI generated. The killer perhaps wanted to kill Miguel as well, and the only person who detested the couple and did not mind getting blood on her hands was Angela. Miguel and the detective's inclination was right. Angela was on a killing spree. From murdering men who were unfaithful to their partners to seeking revenge on those who she believed had wronged her father or lacked respect for him. While initially the murders were well executed, with Tina, Angela lost control of herself. After discovering that Inti was working for Tina and they were conspiring against her, Angela decided to get rid of her father's former assistant. But instead of calmly approaching her plan, she rushed things and ended up with a messy crime scene. Tina had confessed that Angela's father, Pedro, had sexually abused her as a child and had manipulated her into executing all his whims and fancies. Even though there was more than enough proof to suggest that the father was not an honest man, Angela refused to accept it. Since she had pulled the trigger on her father, she felt guilty about his death and wanted to compensate in any way she could. Instead of feeding Tina poisoned food, she splashed a pot of boiling water at her. She grabbed hold of Tina and stabbed her repeatedly. She took a quick break to check on her daughter, and by the time she returned, Tina was gone. She eventually found Tina hiding in a corner and ultimately killed her. But it soon became evident that there was someone else who was helping Angela. What role did Joaquin Duval play in the killings? Joaquin Duval, the therapist, was a shady character to begin with. It became quite clear that Duval was a flawed character when it was shown that he video recorded his clients without their consent. Not to forget how he lustfully stared at Camila when she described her sexual dreams and fantasies to him. It did not come as a surprise that Joaquin was obsessed with Camila. He was furious when she decided to get back with Miguel because he had convinced himself that he was the only one who deserved her. He locked Camila in his office, but thankfully Miguel had already seen through him and had warned the detective about the man. Upon going through his records, Indira discovered that Joaquin had been accused by his teenage client of molesting and video recording her without her consent. She immediately decided to arrest him, and that was when the police, along with Miguel, forcefully entered his office and rescued Camila. But Indra could not find evidence against Joaquin to connect him with the murder cases, and eventually he was released. At the very end of Fake Profile Season 2, Joaquin drugged Camila, and when she woke up, she found herself seated in a yacht. Joaquin was desperate to spend his life with Camila, and he assumed he could do so by forcefully taking her away. It was then that he confessed he and Angela had planned the murders together. Angela was his client, and he met her in prison. Instead of helping her deal with her dark thoughts and desires, Joaquin had encouraged her to seek vengeance. After Miguel betrayed her, Angela had developed a deep-seated hatred for unfaithful men. As it so happened, Joaquin too had been studying the subject and was interested in conducting an experiment on the lustful men who were ready to put their families on the line for pleasure. For their first murder, Joaquin helped Angela get a medical leave from prison, and that was when she discovered how much she enjoyed punishing unfaithful men. Even though killing Adrian and Erica was not part of their plan, they had to do so to safeguard their experiment. Adrian had figured out what Angela and Joaquin were up to, and Joaquin assumed that he would pose a threat to them, so he killed Adrian. They later killed Erica because she dared to interfere in Camila's personal life. Joaquin and Angela used to be a unit, but gradually, with the murders getting messy, they had their fair share of misunderstandings. Now that the police were so close to catching the killer, Joaquin decided to run away with Camila. The detective realized that Angela and Joaquin were involved when she discovered that a car similar to the one he used was seen outside her house the night Tina was murdered. She also figured that Angela had played the surveillance footage on loop, which meant that she was planning on escaping. Miguel came to Camila's rescue, and while Joaquin intended to kill both Camila and Miguel since he could already sense that his plan had failed, the police arrived to save the couple. The detective shot Joaquin, and Camila and Miguel were rescued. Was Angela arrested? Angela knew she was running out of time, so she decided to flee. Her lover, Vanessa, joined her. She was Angela's neighbor and was married to Santiago, the CEO of Ferrer Bargain, Angela's father's company. Angela had figured out that Vanessa was in a loveless marriage, and she gave her all the attention she could ask for, making her feel on top of the world. Vanessa craved Angela's companionship, and she was ready to put her marriage on the line to be with her. While it seemed Angela sympathized with Vanessa and might have grown fond of her, it looked like she had an ulterior motive. She was well aware that Santiago wanted her to exit the company, but she had no intention of doing so. Maybe she was hopeful that by threatening to expose Vanessa's secret to the world, Santiago would agree to let her be part of the company. But things slipped out of control when Santiago caught Vanessa and Angela making love, and when he attempted to attack Angela, Vanessa shot him. While it was not Angela's first rodeo, Vanessa was traumatized. She could not believe that she had actually killed her husband, and she simply followed Angela's instructions when she suggested that they dissolve his body in a chemical liquid. She was a little surprised to see how calm Angela was, but she assumed that was how Angela dealt with tough situations. Even at the very end of season 2, Vanessa had no idea that Angela was the serial killer the police were searching for. Vanessa was madly in love, and she decided to flee to a faraway country with Angela and start their life afresh. But can Angela be trusted? Given her record, it will not take her much time to flip on Vanessa as well. Also, she might not even be in love with her and will possibly return to seek revenge on Miguel and Camila. A third season seems to be on the cards, and we will hopefully find out if Vanessa's dream of living her best life with Angela comes true. Thanks for watching this video, and do share your thoughts about the end of season 2 of Fake Profile in the comments section below. Do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to get your weekly dose of cinema and series. See you in the next one, and for the time being, we're signing off. Bye.